I want to kick things off by saying that you've been going for 17 years, which is insane. How did the journey start in kind of the world of photography and videography? Did you start just doing one of those mediums? And just what triggered the 17-year career?
So, you say 17, it's like 10 professionally. The rest of it was like, when I was in college, in like sixth form, my granddad bought me a camera. I was studying photography. And then I got too poor, had to sell it to buy food. Then, in like 2011, went digital. Finally got a camera after a bad breakup, and I was like, I need something to feel something again. And then started shooting like skateboarding, that kind of stuff. Like, some of my mates are skating all the time.
Yeah, so it's kind of a hobby that's transitioned into
my life, basically. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, and was that something that you've always done based in Brighton, or?
Oh yeah, Brighton, born and raised.
Nice.
Born and raised, born in Brighton.
Nice. So 10 years, let's say.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've predominantly done music videos, gigs, kind of anything that you can get your hands on in the local music scene.
Yeah. If it's music, I'm there.
Yeah, nice. And obviously, you've shot hundreds of bands. If I was to maybe extract a few highlights of your favourite artists you've worked with, or maybe even some that you'd like to work with in the future.
So, I mean, when it comes to like working for press, I get to shoot bands I don't like technically work with, but like I got to shoot Enter Shikari like 2 years ago, and that was like
sweet
highlight.
Yeah.
But like for local, like I feel bad naming anyone because everyone's so good, everyone's so lovely. That's the thing. Like
it's exactly the same thing with Phoebe. Is as soon as I'm like, can you name one person? It's just impossible.
like most of the Brighton hardcore bands are all fucking great to work with. Like,
yeah.
Can I swear?
You can swear. Yeah,
fuck no.
Of course you can swear.
Like, I love working with Zoom. They're great. Tempers are great. Like, anyone in the BM1 scene, I'm like, let's go.
Your homies.
Yeah,
nice.
And also outside as well, like not just
like. Of course, I've noticed you do a lot of shooting for Hive as well. Yeah. So it'd be good to get a little bit of context about what Hive is and.
Yeah, so it's an online zine that's been running. I think I want to say 2022, but I could be wrong, and it could be earlier. Yeah. But I was like one of the first ones in the door because my mate Dylan, who runs it, put a thing up on Twitter, and I was like, yes, please.
Nice. So you get your photos landed in quite a lot of their articles and stuff.
Yeah, I've slowed down with them a little bit just because nothing's coming, like no big shows are coming through Brighton at the moment.
Fair,
I've got to prioritise paid work down here when I can.
Would you say that's a sign of the kind of time of year, January, February?
No, I think it's more booking agents don't like Brighton for whatever reason. Like every tour seems to go London, Portsmouth, Southampton, Brighton.
Mm-hmm. So do you find yourself travelling like outside of Brighton quite a lot for your work?
For a lot of big shows, I'll normally be like London, or if I have to, go to Portsmouth. Really well.
Yeah. It's like if I have to. But yeah, so obviously you've worked with Hive. You've also started your own kind of sub projects.
Yep.
I'm just keen to hear more about like Shark Sauce.
Yep.
And Noiseboy as well.
So Shark Sauce, me and Nick Burdett from All Better we've been working together for like, I think we started like on that All Better video, which would be 2022, I want to say. Mm-hmm. So we started like working together there. We're like, oh, actually, this really, because I filmed it all. He like directed and edited, and we were like, oh, we work really well together. Let's do this some more.
Yeah.
So we did loads of videos, like 10 or so, where we were just like, it's just us two, and we're like always like going like back and forth, like we should come up with a name, we should come up with a name. And then recently we were just like joking around. Shark Sauce came out, and here we are.
Nice, yeah. And then so Noiseboy as well.
So Noiseboy, that's Adam Cedric's baby. He's the guitarist and singer for Trapper Ghosts. This is like industrial noise project that just sounds horrible. Love it. It's just chaos. It's ADHD in musical form, basically. But so he's doing all the music stuff, and then I'm doing like live visuals.
Nice.
And all that kind of stuff, and like some analog video synths running into a TV that's running into a projector. It's doing a bunch of.
I saw a few snippets of your like, say test run.
Yeah.
Test run together.
A rehearsal.
Yeah, a rehearsal.
Yeah.
Kind of firing these really crazy projections around and just nothing but really harsh noise.
Just horror.
Just so cool. And then you've got the debut show coming up next month at Dalton's.
Yeah, February 11th.
Nice.
We've got a showcase on the 23rd of January.
Yeah.
But
it's really similar to another conversation we were having with Phoebe about bringing the visual and the audio element together to create like a multi-sensory kind of experience. So I assume that's what you're trying to get with Noiseboy, is just kind of create like an immersive show. What are the details of what time will that be kicking off for?
That is, we're main support to Igor Cavalera, formerly from Sepultura, which breaks my brain.
That's so good.
It's so mental.
Yeah.
I think doors are at 7, I want to say. I don't know. That's an Adam question. I'm just vibing.
And I mean, if you're like reaching out into doing actual performative stuff, is there anywhere in particular that you'd like to perform or
Green Door?
Watch out. Yeah. Sounds cool.
Special place in my heart.
Yeah. So obviously you're a bit of a whiz when it comes to all of the equipment and stuff. I mean, it's straight over my head. But you've got, literally, you've got probably hundreds of terabytes of hard drives and cameras and just.
I actually counted them up yesterday.
Yeah.
So I was like working out like what I'm buying for this year. And the last 2 years, I filled 24 terabytes each year. And then everything 2022 was about, I want to say 15, and then everything from 21 to 2011, so like 10 years, that will fit on 20 terabytes. And then the last 3 years, it's like quadrupled every year, and I'm like, so many hard drives.
Do you tend to look back on those hard drives, or is it more of just a archive project?
Like if I'm going for like any kind of like, because I did a post when I hit the 10-year anniversary, I did a post of like, here's the last 10 years of my favourite photos. I went through and like re-edited them so they didn't look absolutely pants.
Nice.
I didn't know what I was doing.
It's like fruits of your labour as well, you know. You've got physical
it's also
bricks,
a thing, like,
essentially.
it's a weird thing. Every now and then I'll get a request for like, hey, so-and-so has died, can we use this photo? And then I can send them like a really high quality one to get printed. It's a really morbid
but
it's
like,
quite nice to be able to sort that for people.
Kind of validates your reason for holding all of those as well. So.
And also I've had some photos back when I worked on the YouTube scene be bought to use for books and stuff like that, so that kind of pays for like the insane amount of storage.
Also used to do like YouTube videos and stuff.
Way back in the day.
Really?
We don't need to talk about that.
We're on to bigger and better things now. But so you shoot a lot of digital and a lot of film photography.
I like to mix it.
Yeah. A preference at all of your favourite kind of rig setup?
Pentax 6.7 with a nice fisheye. Anything with a fisheye, anything wide angle just looks great.
And I saw as well, you're obviously experimenting with a lot of unusual equipment as well. So you had the beer can camera.
Yeah.
I remember that. Is that
a project that's I've got no time for anymore.
Oh no, so that's in retirement for now. Can we expect hiatus? Yeah. But it still exists.
Someone at my day job kind of like explained that like she'd noticed that like I just like things that look like other things, because I've got like a bottle they drink of at work that looks like a film chemistry bottle.
Sick.
Just because it throws people off every time I pick up a stick. Something about that just makes me laugh. Same thing with the cans. It was just like every time I popped open, people are like, what? Getting that reaction is always quite fun.
Yeah.
Especially if you can capture in a photo. It's just like...
Yeah, exactly. And I think you're very good at just like capturing really candid photos. I'll find myself at a show and I'll just be stood out in the smoking area. Same with Jake. Same with all of us, to be fair. You'll just whip out a camera out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I think you've probably...
I've always liked to see that kind of like fly on the wall, like not shoving a camera in someone's face unless I'm mates with them, but like whenever a band hires me and I'm doing backstage photos, I'll always just be like kind of cramped in the corner, like finding the frame rather than
really blending
some
in.
people that just like kind of just run around like maniacs and like that's way too pick me coded. I've got too much anxiety for that.
No, honestly. But yeah, so obviously there's a lot of money involved with the work that you do. Would you say that's probably the biggest challenge with the work that you do is kind of accessing equipment? And
not so much, because I'm pretty smart when it comes to like what I purchase. I generally, if I'm buying something, I'm selling something I don't use anymore. Nice. So like I'm not in a hole. Like I've got a lot of kit, but like it's all paid for itself kind of thing. Like I won't purchase something unless I know I'm going to use it a lot.
Yeah. Do you say obviously you've built up that kind of collection over so many years?
Yeah.
Would you have any advice for kind of any aspiring photographers or anyone locally that might want to start getting into gig photography? Whether that be
gig photography, just ask everyone. People are going to say no. Get over it. People are going to say no.
Except rejection. Yeah.
Except rejection. Yeah, it's going to happen. It's part of the parcel. It's never personal. It's normally like they either don't have the budget, they've got someone else, or they just don't want any photos. Like it's never like, oh, we don't like you. Which some people are like, oh my god, why did they say no? Because they had something else lined up. Like
exactly. And obviously you've worked kind of collaborated with a lot of local photographers and videographers. Is there anyone in particular you wanted to highlight?
This guy's alright.
Whoa! I like break the fall for all.
Also, Cam, Aussie Media, I think is his Instagram, and Paddy. They're both great, like super helpful on shoots.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. The list is pretty endless, to be fair.
Like, I've got like a list of like people's contact details, and I'm like, I need to insist on a shoot.
Yeah, and I can imagine you've got quite a long list of people that have been and gone.
Yeah.
Like locally as well,
Yeah,
maybe
like,
people that have gone on to.
It's quite like, especially with Brighton, there's quite like a revolving door. Like someone will come to uni and do photos for a bit, and as soon as they're like, "Oh, I can't afford to live in Brighton," shit, and they kind of piss off.
Seems to be the cycle of life in Brighton, doesn't it?
Same with bands though. Like bands will come and go like quite regularly as well. Like
yeah, absolutely.
Just the nature of the industry, really.
Yeah, of course. So, yeah, I think availabilities and plans for 2025. Is there anything in particular? Because you're always booked. You're so busy.
I generally only try and book like a month in advance. Like middle of the month before, I'll start looking at the next month. Because if I start being like, what am I doing in June?
Yeah.
The passage of time gets a bit too much for my brain.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like generally I'll start planning festivals in like April, and like I'm always wanting to tour and just travel more really. So like last year was pretty like Brighton heavy, and I'm like, I want to shoot not Brighton for a bit.
Nice. I mean, we were just talking about Tech Fest, and obviously that's gone now.
Yeah.
Do you have any festival?
I mean, Arctangent's a pretty good replacement, similar kind of vibe, just nerdy music, full of like old people who don't want to drink all the time. It's great.
Nice.
But also there's 2000 Trees, which is great. Oh, it was just those two. Yeah.
So I feel like I'm really picking at your brain.
Breaking it, man.
Yeah. And like, so availability is obviously booking a month in advance. Where is the best place to contact you?
info@LBPHOTO.uk.
Yeah.
Or if you need videos, sharksourcefilms@gmail.com.
I was going to say as well, because just to kind of wrap things up a little bit, you've got last year you were working on your photozine project.
Yeah.
Are some of those still available?
Oh yeah,
as well.
I bought so many.
Nice.
I've got like 70 still just kicking around my flat.
And again, like fruit of your labour, you've got a physical kind of proof of your work, I suppose.
Yeah.
Is that something that you might do this year with like a refreshed kind of?
Maybe.
Nice.
Maybe.
It's all a maybe.
It's on the cards, but we'll see.
Sweet.
That first scene cost me so much money. Don't shoot on film.
It's always the print costs. Yeah. Sweet.
Always shoot on film.
Yeah. Sweet. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Me. Sorted. Cool.